Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're going to dive into a chilling collection of true stories. Stories you've actually shared with us.
Yeah, these are intense.
They really are. And each one starts with something seemingly simple, almost innocent. Someone takes a wrong turn.
Right. Just a small mistake.
Exactly. But these mistakes, they lead straight into, well, unimaginable terror. Ordinary days turning into absolute nightmares.
And it's kind of fascinating, isn't it? How one little navigational error can just completely unravel everything. A life-altering event, sometimes even life-ending. These aren't just, stories about getting lost in the woods. They're about stumbling into something unexpected, something sinister.
Yeah.
Really reminds you how thin that line is between, being safe and finding yourself in real peril.
Okay, so let's jump into the first one. This takes us out to rural Nebraska. Pretty desolate place.
Right, isolated.
Guy's just trying to visit his grandpa. Simple trip, should be straightforward, but then, the typical rural frustrations start. No cell signal, GPS is going haywire, the road signs are either falling apart or just unreadable.
Yeah, familiar story for anyone who's driven way out there.
So he pulls over, asks a stranger at their house for directions, gets some vague info. Old house, dirt road, maybe a mile or two down. Not exactly helpful.
No, not pinpoint accurate, is it?
Not at all. So he turns onto this dirt road, kind of hoping for the best. Drives a few minutes, no houses in sight. Figures, okay, another dead end. Annoying.
Just lost time.
But then he sees a driveway. A little flicker of hope, like, oh, maybe this is it, Grandpa's place.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. He pulls in and sees several men, a van, another car. They're all just standing there talking.
Okay.
The second he pulls in, their whole demeanor just changes. Instantly. One guy bolts, runs off. Another starts looking around, really anxiously.
Alarm bells ringing immediately.
Before he even stops the car completely, there's a gun pointed right through the driver's side window.
Wow. Okay, that escalated fast.
He just freezes. The only thought in his head is gun. Just sheer panic.
That immediate weapon display. It screams high stakes. Illicit activity. You've stumbled onto something bad.
Then this voice, cold, just cuts through. Turn off the engine. Then get out of the car.
Oh, man.
His knees are like jelly, right? But he gets out. And then it gets worse. Another guy pipes up. It's a cop, man. Just shoot him. Let's get out of here.
Oh, terrible assumption to make.
That snaps him out of it, and he starts pleading, just stammering, I'm not a cop. I swear to God. I'm just looking for Grandpa's place. Please don't shoot me.
Desperate. Understandably.
But the response is chilling. Someone else says, he's lying, just kill him. We can't lose the shipment. The shipment. That's the only clue he gets about what's going on.
Shipment. Yeah.
Yeah.
That plus the guns. You mentioned a pistol and also something like a Call of Duty style gun.
Yeah, like with attachments and stuff. Looks serious.
Okay, so that strongly suggests, a major drug deal.
Yeah.
Especially considering Douglas County, Nebraska, where this likely happened.
Yeah.
They have a huge meth problem, possibly the biggest in the country. So he probably just drove right into the middle of a big, dangerous transaction.
Seems like it. Then the guy with the pistol says, get the tape.
Oh, no.
The narrator thinks, okay, something even worse is coming, but tape isn't a bullet. Maybe. Maybe not right now, anyway.
A grim kind of hope.
So they tie him up, blindfold him, wrists, ankles bound tight. Then they frisk him, search his car meticulously, looking for bugs.
Bugs, like listening devices.
Yeah, exactly. Which tells you these aren't just, average crackheads. These guys are organized, professional in a terrifying way.
Definitely. They're worried about surveillance, witnesses, standard procedure for serious organized crime.
Then the men start arguing about what to do with him. They get his license, try to figure out who he is. And there's this huge wave of relief when they finally agree, no, we don't know this guy.
Okay, so maybe he gets out of this.
You'd think. But it's short-lived. The boss, the guy who seemed hesitant before, he just changes his mind, snaps, says, you know what, I think you might be right. We can't risk it. He's probably a do-gooder who's going to go straight to the cops.
Oh, God. Back to square one.
He starts wailing, begging again, I'd never snitch. I swear I'll forget everything I saw. But it's no use. He feels the cold metal of a gun pressed against the back of his head.
Just unimaginable terror.
The last thing he hears is someone saying, start digging a hole.
Oh, man.
Every muscle just tenses up. He's waiting for the end, bracing for it. And then Just a dull click.
Dry fired.
Dry fired. It was a prank, a cruel, horrible prank just to terrify him, absolutely.
That's psychological torture, a mock execution. The trauma from that is immense. It sticks with you forever.
Unbelievable cruelty. And the boss gives him this chilling insurance policy. They keep his license. Tell him if they hear anything about this getting out, they know where he lives, they'll pay him a visit.
Jesus.
And the final words, next time there'll be one in the chamber.
It's just brutal. And the aftermath. How long was he left there?
They left him there, tied up and blindfolded, for about 24 hours, just abandoned. Eventually, a passing farmer found him, dehydrated but alive.
Wow.
He gets his phone back eventually, sees all the missed calls. He'd been reported missing, but the fear, it was so ingrained, he just stonewalled the police, didn't tell them the whole story.
Understandable, given the threat.
But the worst part, he said, was his parents realizing they weren't safe anymore. That threat wasn't just against him, it was against the whole family.
Right. They know where you live.
So the entire family had to move, sell their home, uproot their lives, all of it, just because of one wrong turn onto some random dirt road.
Incredible. The ripple effect of that single mistake.
Okay, let's shift gears now from, human threats in Nebraska to something more primal. This next story takes us to the Canadian wilderness.
Alberta, right.
Yeah, Alberta, near the Seminole River, an area the locals apparently call bear country.
Okay, the name says it all.
Our narrator and his buddy Paul, they're out elk hunting one morning, but there's this fresh, heavy blanket of snow everywhere, made navigating really tough.
Easy to get turned around in those conditions.
And they did. They realized pretty quickly they'd taken a wrong turn, maybe a mile or so back.
That environment, snow, wilderness, known bear territory. It just amplifies the danger immediately. You're not in control out there.
No, you're definitely not. And the tension starts building fast. First, they spot fresh wolf tracks, which, wolves usually avoid people, but it still puts you on edge.
Sure, raises the awareness level.
Then something much more unsettling, a half-eaten animal carcass, just lying there, barely touched. And crucially, no scavengers around, no crows, nothing.
Ooh, yeah. That's a huge red flag, like the narrator said. Something big and dangerous is nearby and keeping everything else away.
Exactly. They know something's up. Rifle loaded, moving slow, scanning constantly. Then they hear it. This low, kind of eerie calling sound from behind a big spruce tree. And that's when Paul just lets out this high-pitched scream. Pure terror. Grizzly.
And grizzlies. People think of them as lumbering, but when they charge, they're unbelievably fast. It triggers that deep, primal fear.
Yeah, the narrator said it was charging right at Paul. He barely had time to react, just aimed from the hip, fired his rifle.
Pivot hit.
He doesn't think so, or if it did, the bear just... nothing. Didn't even flinch.
Wow. Tough animals.
Luckily, Paul managed to scramble behind two trees that were really close together. The bear swiped at him, missed, and then it turned its attention to the narrator.
Facing it down.
He described the fear as just overwhelming, totally different from any monster you imagine. This was real, tangible, deadly.
Absolutely. Instinct takes over.
He manages to reload, fires again, hits it this time in the shoulder, sees blood spray, but still. The bear doesn't flinch, doesn't slow down.
Unbelievable. The adrenaline and sheer power.
He dodges another swipe, scrambling backwards through the snow, fumbling to reload again. The bear realizes the claws aren't working, so it lunges, mouth wide open, going for a bite.
This is it.
Pure instinct. He just shoves the rifle barrel straight into its open mouth, into its throat.
Oh my God.
He heard this horrific sound, teeth shattering against the cold steel as it bit down, but that gave him leverage. The rifle butt against its jaw. He managed to fire one last round.
Did it.
Yeah, that was it. The bear just went completely limp, died instantly.
Wow. What an encounter. But what's striking is the feeling afterward.
Yeah, the narrator expressed this profound regret. Said, if there were another way, I would have let it live, but it just didn't give me that option.
Exactly. It wasn't a victory. It was just brutal survival. It was either it or me. There's no reasoning with that kind of force, no negotiation, just violence. It really shows how useless our human tools like communication become when faced with, raw nature like that.
Okay, from the wild north, let's head south to Florida for something, well, frankly, bizarre.
Bizarre how?
This one's from the 1950s, involves the narrator's grandpa. He was a traveling vacuum salesman down in Florida, got a lead for a sale, had specific directions.
Okay, standard sales call setup.
Followed the directions perfectly, he thought. But still, somehow took a wrong turn, ended up at a house that just didn't match the description at all.
Happens easily enough.
But, salesman's instinct. He figured, well, I'm already here. Might as well knock, see if they need a vacuum.
Can't hurt to try, right?
Yeah.
Or so he thought.
So he walks up the path to the front porch, and he sees this alligator statue. Looked incredibly realistic.
Florida porch decor, maybe.
That's what he thought. He got closer thinking, wow, this must be stuffed. It looks so real. It was just perfectly still. Eerily still.
Okay.
He gets about 3 feet from the front door, still looking at this super realistic gator, and it blinks.
Oh, no. No way.
Grandpa freezes solid. Then the statue turns its head towards him, hisses, and starts chasing him.
Chasing him
Right back to his car. He scrambles to get the door open, looks back, and the gator is right there snapping at his ankles.
A guard gator? Is that a thing?
Apparently it was for this guy, a freaking guard gator. Grandpa just floored it and got out of there. Needless to say, no sale was made that day.
I have no words for that one. A guard gator. Okay. Moving on.
Right. Okay, let's move to a different kind of horror. This one stems not from, criminals or animals, but from something internal, sheer exhaustion.
The dangers of sleep deprivation. Very real.
This narrator was a student juggling early classes and a part-time job late into the night. For about 3 months straight, they were running on fumes, like 5 hours sleep a night max.
That takes a serious toll. Memory, judgment, reaction time. It all goes downhill fast.
Absolutely. They said their memory was shot, mood was terrible, making basic mistakes constantly. Then one night, driving home, a route they'd driven like 100 times before.
Familiar route, but the brain's just not firing right.
Exactly. Exhausted brain makes a mistake. A wrong turn. And not just any wrong turn. Down a one-way street. The wrong way.
Oh, that's bad. Very bad.
And just then, this motocross bike comes flying around the corner, going the other wrong way against traffic, kid on it, no helmet, doing maybe 40, 50 miles an hour.
Oh, God. No time to react for either of them.
None. Inevitable collision. The kid's head smashes right through the narrator's windshield. His body just stops at the shoulders against the broken glass.
Horrific. Just horrific.
The narrator described the sight. The head almost split open. Thought he was dead instantly. But then, after the screaming stopped, these awful sounds, groans, gurgling blood.
Oh, man, that sound.
He died on the way to the hospital.
Even if you're told it wasn't your fault. I mean, the kid was joyriding, stolen bike likely, no helmet, speeding, wrong way. Legally, the narrator might be clear, but the guilt.
Exactly. The narrator said they were told the kid made his own fatal criminal choices. But how do you live with that image, that sound?
You don't, really. Not easily. The therapy, the civil suit attempt they mentioned, the nightmares, seeing that kid's eye, the head injury, it's a life sentence of trauma.
A single wrong turn, fueled by exhaustion, leading to just a lifetime of regret and those unerasable images. So incredibly tragic.
Truly.
Okay, this next case, it's deeply unsettling, very complex. A wrong turn that spiraled into this enduring dark mystery.
You're talking about the Panama case, Lisanne Froon and Chris Kramers.
Yeah. 2 young Dutch students, Lisanne and Chris. They're in Panama, 2014, for this adventure vacation, supposed to do some volunteering.
Right, but that fell through, so they decided to go hiking.
Exactly. April 1st, they head out to hike the Pinista Trail near the Baru volcano, set off around 11 a.m. from Phuket. They even had a local dog, Blue, go with them.
Okay, sounds like a normal hiking trip start.
But then it gets weird. Their last known stop was an inn, and the innkeeper gives them this really strange warning. You need to turn back, take a taxi back to town now.
That is weird. Why? If the trail's popular.
We don't know why. And then later that day, the dog, Blue, shows up back in town, alone.
Okay, that's definitely not good. Dog comes back without the hikers. Major red flag.
And another thing, the villagers where they were staying, they waited a whole day before reporting the girls missing.
A full day. That seems suspicious, or at least negligent.
Right. The families back home got worried, reported them missing themselves. Dutch police got involved, and they immediately suspected foul play. Too many inconsistencies in the local stories.
So the search starts, but nothing for a long time.
Weeks go by, nothing. Then, months later, a local woman from an indigenous tribe finds a blue backpack by a riverbank.
And inside.
Inside, their phones, a camera, some cash, Lisanne's passport, things you'd expect hikers to have.
The phones must have been key. Any data.
Oh, yeah. And it's disturbing. Lisanne's phone tried to make emergency calls 112, 911 for almost 10 days after they vanished, repeatedly. Usually failed, probably bad reception.
And days. So they were alive, trying to get help for a long time.
Seems like it. But here's a really crucial detail. Chris's phone. Someone tried to unlock it multiple times using the wrong PIN code on several different days.
Whoa. Okay, that strongly suggests someone else had her phone. Someone who didn't know her PIN.
Exactly. That's a huge piece suggesting foul play. Then there's the camera.
What did the photos show?
Well, the first bunch are normal touristy shots, happy hikers, but then the tone changes dramatically. There's one photo of Chris taken around the time the emergency call started where she looks terrified, just pure terror on her face.
Chilling.
And then days later, between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. on April 8th, a whole series of really strange photos. Pitch black, illuminated only by the flash, pictures of random things, a stick with plastic bags on it, clumps of leaves, rocks, a canyon wall, maybe a bridge.
Why? What were they photographing in the middle of the night?
Theories range from, trying to use the flash as a light source, or maybe making trail markers, or something way more sinister, like an abductor taking trophy photos.
God, that's dark.
And there was an accidental leak of one photo, apparently showing the back of one girl's head with a pretty severe head wound, matted blood in the hair.
So, evidence of injury. And then clothing was found?
Yeah. Later, Chris Creamer's denim shorts were found neatly folded on a rock by the river. Just folded, like she'd taken them off deliberately.
Folded.
A bit.
That's odd too, not ripped off or discarded in a panic.
Exactly. And then came the worst discoveries. Human remains. A hiking boot with a human foot still inside it. DNA confirmed it was Lisanne's. Then more fragments, pieces of bone, some rotten flesh. DNA matched Chris.
That's horrific.
Yep.
So what was the official conclusion after all that?
Officially, after almost a year, they ruled it a tragic accident. Theory was, Lisanne broke her ankle badly, maybe fell from a height, died. Chris got lost trying to find help or get back in the dark, couldn't navigate, and eventually died too. Remains scattered by the river, animals, the elements.
Plausible, given the jungle environment. But it sounds like a lot of people weren't satisfied with that.
It's not at all. Panamanian journalists, lawyers, they pointed out huge problems. Evidence handling was apparently terrible. No chain of custody for the backpack, over 30 unidentified fingerprints on it. No indigenous locals fingerprinted to rule them out.
Sloppy investigation, basically.
And the condition of the gear, the backpack, the phones. Some argued they looked too clean, too undamaged to have been lost in the jungle for weeks. Almost like they were planted later.
And they didn't check for deleted photos either.
Nope. Major oversight. But the biggest piece of evidence cited against the accident theory, especially by the lawyer Enrique Rocha, neither girl's skull was ever found, despite massive searches.
Yeah, that is significant. Finding bone fragments, a foot, but no skulls. In an accidental fall scenario that's extremely unlikely, it points much more strongly towards foul play, someone deliberately disposing of or keeping those specific remains.
Right. It really makes you wonder what truly happened out there.
So what are the other theories, if not an accident?
Well, they range quite a bit. Some suspicion fell on indigenous tribes in the area, especially with the missing bones. Some even whispered about cannibalism, though that's pretty speculative.
Okay, what else?
Others point fingers at drug traffickers, narcos, or even organ traffickers operating in the region that could explain, dismemberment or missing specific body parts.
More organized crime possibility.
And then there's the really chilling idea put forward by some independent journalists. They looked into other cases, found records of 24 other tourists who went missing or were found dead under mysterious circumstances in Panama between 2009 and 2017.
24. In less than a decade.
Yeah. Leading to the suspicion that there might be an unidentified serial killer operating in the area and possibly a cover-up by authorities to protect Panama's tourism industry, or maybe payoffs from traffickers are involved.
Wow, if that's true, covering up a potential serial killer, they're not just denying justice, they're actively enabling future victims. That's horrifying.
It really is. It casts a very dark shadow over that whole beautiful region.
Definitely a stark warning. If you're thinking of hiking the Pianista Trail, maybe reconsider, or at least be aware. You might be dealing with something far scarier than the local wildlife.
Okay, for our last story. We're heading back north, but this one's a different kind of wrong turn. More psychological, maybe?
Okay, intrigued.
This involves a Canadian firefighter named Danny Philippidis. He's 49, experienced outdoorsman. February 2018, he's on a skiing trip with friends at Whiteface Mountain in New York.
Whiteface. Big mountain, challenging terrain.
Right. End of the day, snowstorms rolling in. He tells his friends, gonna take one last run. Standard skier thing to do.
Famous last words sometimes, unfortunately.
Well, he doesn't come back. Friends wait, get worried, report him missing. A massive search kicks off. 6 days. Thousands of people involved. State police, border patrol, firefighters from Canada and the U.S. searching everywhere.
6 days in blizzard on a mountain.
Yeah.
The odds aren't good.
They found absolutely no trace of him. Nothing. Then, the shocker. Day 6, Danny turns up. Alive.
Found him on the mountain.
No. Found him 3,000 miles away in Sacramento, California.
California? How?
He's still wearing his ski clothes, boots, pants, jacket. He's got a new iPhone, a fresh haircut, and zero memory of how he got there. Completely disoriented.
No memory at all. That's bizarre.
His only clear memories were fuzzy images of being in the passenger seat of a big rig, an 18-wheeler, and sleeping. A lot.
Okay, medically, what could explain that? They checked for head trauma. Drugs.
Yeah, initial checks found no obvious head injury. Police confirmed no drugs or alcohol involved, so the doctor started looking at other possibilities.
Like amnesia.
Retrograde amnesia was one thought memory loss from a head injury, but that usually only lasts, seconds up to maybe 48 hours, not 6 whole days of travel.
Right, doesn't fit the timeline. What else?
The more likely theory they landed on is something called a dissociative fugue state.
Fugue state, right? Rare, but it happens.
Yeah, it's this rare mental condition, can be triggered by head trauma, other trauma, intense emotional distress. Basically, the person temporarily loses their sense of personal identity. They might wander off, travel long distances.
And they often have no memory of the fugue period itself, right? They just sort of come to in a new place, totally confused.
Exactly. They might appear normal to others during the fugue, maybe act a bit differently, but they're not really themselves.
So did Danny ever piece together what happened during those 6 days?
He tried. Later on, he's sort of put together a possible timeline. Thinks he took a wrong turn skiing, definitely took a bad fall, hit his head hard, lost consciousness.
Okay, so there's head trauma, just maybe not obvious externally.
Seems likely. He thinks he woke up disoriented, saw lights from a closed children's ski program area, and maybe thought it was the main lodge. Got confused, wandered off the resort property.
Ended up on a highway.
Yeah, walked to a nearby highway, somehow hitched a ride with a trucker heading west.
Got in a truck and went.
Apparently. He has these patchy memories, throwing up at a truck stop somewhere, realizing dimly he was way out in Utah at one point.
Like across the country.
Kept going west with the trucker all the way to Sacramento. Trucker dropped him off, said something like, "This is the end of the line."
And that's when he started to come back to himself.
Sort of. But there are still big gaps. Like, how did he get $1,000 in cash to buy that new iPhone? Where did the haircut come from? And why, once he realized he was lost in Sacramento, did he apparently sleep on the streets for a night instead of calling 911 or his family immediately?
Yeah, those are lingering questions. The fugue state explains the travel and memory loss, but not necessarily those specific actions within it. Unless the identity confusion was still profound.
It's really strange.
It really makes you think about identity itself. Like you said, for all intents and purposes, Danny Philippitis, the firefighter, the skier, he was gone for 6 days. It was almost like an identity death, even though it wasn't physical. What's the real difference when the memories that make you you are just wiped, even temporarily? It raises questions about how fragile our sense of self really is. What happens when the wrong turn isn't on a road, but inside your own mind?
Oh, that's a heavy thought. So from Nebraska, Alberta, Florida, Panama, New York, these stories you've shared, they all hammer home the same point, don't they?
They really do.
That one wrong turn.
Yeah.
The consequences can be absolutely terrifying, life-altering.
Yeah, these aren't just, spooky stories. They're stark reminders. How fast the ordinary, the familiar, can just flip into something horrific. How we can be tested by forces, sometimes natural, sometimes deeply human and sinister, in ways we just never expect. That path you didn't mean to take. Sometimes it leads straight to a terror you couldn't even conceive of.
And maybe the most unsettling idea, pulling from all these accounts, is that for some people, that wrong turn isn't just about getting lost physically. It's a descent into something unknown that changes them forever.
Or ensures they never come back at all.
Right. Well, hopefully this deep dive into these really unsettling stories has given you something to think about, maybe sent a few shivers down your spine.
If it has, definitely let us know.
Yeah, if you found this exploration chilling or even just thought-provoking, please do like this deep dive. Share it with anyone else who appreciates these kinds of true dark tales. And definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docx, for more.
We appreciate you joining us for this unsettling journey.
We do. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay safe out there. And always pay attention to your cloth.